Welcome to Trending Topics, where we discuss the hottest happenings and give you our hottest takes. I'm your host, Emily Owen, and I'm joined by our reporter and anchor, Gabe Glassman. Up for discussion tonight, our final thoughts on the series finale of Stranger Things.
All right, Emily, before we begin, I think we need to let the audience know. Major spoiler alert incoming. So if you haven't watched Stranger Things yet, now would be a good time to go watch it, because we are about to take a deep dive into the craziness of Stranger Things Season 5. Emily?
I think the most important thing that we are going to say out of this, if you've watched our last episode that we did on this, one of my theories was the wormhole theory, and the wormhole theory came true.
I remember Emily quite literally was so excited about this that while I was watching Volume 2, I just get a million Instagram DMs from Emily. Gabe!
That's
I
all
was
it
right, the
said.
wormhole. That's literally all I was just trying to get my attention. She was correct, and it was just hilarious because I'm like, oh yeah, she did say that.
Yeah, I
so
did.
that was probably the biggest prediction that either of us had that was correct, and I honestly thought it was kind of genius for the Duffer Brothers to do. I thought I had a hard time kind of wrapping my head around it. I remember when we were talking about it last time, it was something that I really couldn't visualize. But when it's put in front of you and Dustin draws it or sees the drawings of it from Brenner, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's honestly a really great way to put it.
Well, and they're leaving little breadcrumbs too throughout the entire season, because I'm going back and rewatching it, and they also kind of make little, not necessarily jokes, but hints at Will being gay through during the first and second seasons, and that's what happens. Was it the end of Volume 1 or 2 that he comes out to?
It was the episode. It was episode 7.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like episode 7, but
I can't even remember, honestly.
I will say this: I really like how they did that scene. I think it's a very strong scene.
Yeah, it was very emotional.
Very emotional. And I think that if you're gonna, it's been something that's been kind of alluded to over these last few seasons. So I think emotionally, Duffer Brothers hit the nail on the head there.
And back to the wormhole thing, I mentioned they were continuously leaving little breadcrumbs around. I can't ever remember the teacher's name because he's not a main character.
I can't remember.
But they literally are in class talking about wormholes, and he draws the whole thing on the chalkboard, and it is there. Why would they have focused so much on that,
That's why Dustin's valedictorian.
Yes.
So
Well, yes.
he paid attention in class.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm sad that didn't come true was Billy did not come back.
Yeah, we didn't get anybody to come back.
We didn't get Billy. We didn't get Barb. But when they were doing the screening for this, Barb, the character Barb, the girl who plays her, was there at the premiere of the finale. I thought that was kind of nice.
I was really happy to see her. I think a few of them may have gone.
Yeah.
I think a lot. I've been seeing so much on social media there. It's been great. Feel like while I'm sad that Barb or Billy or Eddie didn't come back, Bob or any of those characters didn't come back, I think they still had an impact. Obviously, Dustin, so emotional. In that one scene with Steve, we've been kind of just seeing this different character from Dustin this whole time, and just Dustin just lets it all out, pure emotion you see, and I really loved that scene because it really gives us more than smart Dustin or funny Dustin. It shows the emotional side of him, and Gabe Matarazzo is an incredible actor too.
Yeah,
so.
not that he's just a class clown, and I didn't know that he could sing as well as he can sing.
Did you not pay attention to season 3? You didn't pay attention?
I wasn't paying attention to
What?
the things like that, but something popped up on my feed the other day, and I was like, oh, he can really sing. Another thing that I kind of sort of predicted was the ring that Jonathan had for Nancy. I said that Jonathan was holding that ring for Hopper to give to Joyce, but Jonathan leaves the ring in the upside down. They were in the upside down, right?
They were in the upside down at that time when they were at that confessional.
And then at some point, Hopper gets the ring. So it is the ring that Jonathan had for Nancy that Hopper gives to Joyce. But how did he get it?
Well, because Hopper went back to the lab when at the end.
And he
when
saw the ring?
I don't think it was shown, but I think, that may have just not been a part, that's speculation of how he got that ring. It maybe I think it's the same ring, but also, they went through that building. There's a good chance that they may have seen that ring when they either came up or went down. Again, this is all speculation because I'm not one of the Duffer Brothers. I didn't write it, but that's what I would like to believe. Speaking of believing,
is Elle alive?
Is Elle alive? I want to say yes. I really want to say yes.
I do too, because it makes a whole lot of sense with them. And I think a lot of the reason that they brought Kali back was because she can do all the shape shifting and give you visions that aren't actually true, which she does when Mr. Whatsit is trying to get the kids. She makes them all invisible and he doesn't know where they are. But there's this one particular scene where they are in Hawkins' lab and Kali is literally on the verge of being, I don't like to say a word that goes with a gun, but she was being, what do you, eliminated, I guess. I'll say eliminated. And they made this point at the very end when we think Elle is gone, that she shapeshifts people's memories into thinking that she actually did die, but at the end it shows that she didn't die, and her and Elle coming up with this plan on how she can stay around. And I want to believe so bad, and I think I do, because it just all makes sense for her to be alive. I
think it does make sense. Yeah. I think it's really well written, and I think from Mike's storyline as well. I think he's had the hardest time out of all of the major group, just from dealing with this death from Elle's quote unquote death in general. So for me, I really enjoy it, and I really love the story that we kind of follow with Mike over the 18 months that we go in between, which don't know how everybody got away with all the war crimes and everything that they did, but they're just there. But I think that it's a beautiful moment in being in that basement one last time, just seeing that raw emotion from that group. I think it's a beautiful way to put it. And
they as in the Duffer Brothers, have already confirmed that there is going to be a spinoff of some sorts of this. Do we think that it's going to be Holly and her friends?
No, I don't think so. I think that the Duffer Brothers were saying that all of the characters with Stranger Things are kind of, this is the end of their story. But we do know that the glowing rock that we saw young Henry hold in the caves, the Duffer Brothers confirmed that will be a major factor in the spin-off, which, speaking of spin-offs, did anyone else hear Hopper say Montauk? I think that was really fun. That was the original idea for the show, and I love if that was intentional, that reference, which I hope it was. That's awesome, and maybe we see Hopper in Montauk. If they do the spinoff in Montauk, maybe we'll see Hopper come back into it. But I want to believe the Duffer Brothers in saying this is the end of them. So.
Well, one final question. Were you happy with the ending?
I'm extremely happy with the ending.
I think I was too. I think the only thing that I probably would change is I would have liked to have seen not Dimension X look so dry like a desert. I don't know. I was expecting it to be dark, kind of like how it is when Max is in that scene where she's trying to get back, where she's levitating at Billy's grave.
I understand what you're saying. I also would say the fact that that's a big part. I can't. The fact that we did not get as many deaths as what we were expecting. I think we were expecting a few people to die. I think everyone thought that Steve was going to die when he fell off, when he let go.
He didn't.
Yeah.
I think to end all of this, I give this season a 5 stars.
5 stars? 5 stars. I also will say, though, just a quick note on Conformity Gate. I know what your thoughts on it. I'm happy with how it ended, but the first stage of the 5 stages of grief is denial. I think we're all in denial that Stranger Things is gone, but the second stage is acceptance. I'm accepting that Stranger Things has ended, and what a way for it to end. I couldn't think, I couldn't write it better myself.
Yeah.
So that was great.
I think that we will just leave it at that. Well, that's it for tonight's trending topics. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to follow me on my socials at Emily Owen WX. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush, fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look, to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app, available on Android and iOS devices, streaming 24/7.